Okay, good evening. I'm going to go ahead and start. Welcome to the Animal Science, Health and Technology Virtual Open House here from TCTC. I appreciate you coming and wanting to learn as much as you can about our school as well as the program. We have on with us also tonight is Mr. Justin Street. He is the biology, zoology, CCP biology instructor, and he'll be talking to you about some of the things that he does with the program, as well as Mrs. Dawn Adams. She's one of our great English teachers here at the school. So if you happen to have an academic question, they'll be more than welcome to answer any of those questions. If you have a question during the presentation, the chat room is, you can put a question into the chat room. Mr. Street will be watching that, or at the end, we'll go over some of the questions that there might be. At this time, I'm going to kind of share my screen to go over some of the things that I want you to learn about the program. So you can see what goes on here at TCTC and in the animal care field. This is welcoming you to our virtual open house. This is the main door that you come into at TCTC, into our cafeteria. It's very welcoming. You either will go to your programs or your academic classes. You can also see something that's very, very important about TCTC. We are a career technical facility. So you're getting a career technical education. And when you read these important information that you're seeing on your screen now, we're nationally recognized. We are also recognized by Apple. We are a one-to-one school. Each one of the students get an iPad that they use for the 2 years that they're here, which is great and very easy for you because the teachers push a lot of things out to you that way. If you notice here, it says 93% of all career technical educated students graduate from high school. So more students that come to a career school, career technical school, will graduate versus like 80% statistically that graduate just from a straight comprehensive high school. This is extremely important. If you notice, 90% of the students that come to a career technical school get real world experiences. So when we have our customers come in with the dogs that we're going to groom, you learn to talk to them, or you talk to them on their phone making appointments. If you have that dog that you're doing a urine on and you see something or there's a problem, you're able to communicate that to the customer and say, I think you need to take your dog to a veterinarian. You get real world experience, whether it's in this animal care field or any of the other programs here at TCTC. 91% of all the students coming to a career technical school know how to prepare themselves for their future and their future career. You might think you love animals and that's all you've ever wanted to do is work with animals. And you come to the program and you go, wow, I love animals. I want to be around them, but maybe this isn't what I want to do for my career. And you wouldn't know that if you stayed at your home school or in a straight high school setting. This slide is extremely important. There's 3 categories here. And these 3 categories break down and tell you the importance of what you're going to be doing in the animal science, health, and technology and how to prepare. When you look under the medical terminology, I'm going to let Mr. Street talk to you now about what this is and what he does with part of our program with the animal science.
All right, good evening, guys. So thanks for showing up, first of all. So I'm Mr. Street, as Mrs. Billock has already said. So I'm a science teacher here at TCTC. What I do for them specifically is I teach 2 different things. I teach medical terminology, and then I also teach zoology. So for the medical terminology, that's one of the things that you guys will do as seniors if you choose this program. So what you'll do is we use something called the Dean Vaughn Medical Terminology System, where you guys actually do different things where they have modules and stuff that you guys complete It depends on if you guys are doing it virtually, if you do it in person, but there's videos and stuff that watch it, instruct you on the different medical terminology and things that you guys will use. And then you guys also get experience doing different things like activities and workbooks and stuff with those. By the end of it, you'll be sufficient to kind of know around 11,000 medical terms. So that is going to be for veterinary science. That's for any other healthcare field, anything that's related to that or in the health care field. So other than that, I do zoology. So zoology might sound deceiving. So when you think about zoologists, you think about studying all different types of animals. That's not necessarily what we do. What we mainly focus on is like all the organ systems of the animal. So we talk about the physiology. So how do they normally function? How do we know what's normal? So that's going to be something that you guys will learn. So think of it as pretty much like the anatomy of animals and all the different organ systems. All right. Other than that, this program, or the animal science program, is one of the only programs that you guys can actually earn 5 science credits by the time you graduate. So you get 2 from your home school, usually like a physical science or an intro bio. And then when you come to TCTC, you'll pick up 2 additional classes. So usually that's going to be chemistry, or you pick up another biology if you did like CCP bio or physics or something along those lines. But then you also have the chance to go through and take the zoology, which you do get credit for as well. So that's incorporated into your lab. So even if you're leaving high school, most people will finish high school with maybe 3 credits. Everyone that takes your program will finish at least with 4. Some, if depending on the homeschool that you have, you'll actually have 5 science credits, which is huge. Another thing that you guys do is you guys will actually get college credit for those. So that's something through CTAG. So if you don't know what that is, it's pretty much saying that you get college credit while you're in high school. And that's going to be another thing that's really important, because if you think about how much college credits are costing now, so each college credit will cost about $500 to $1,000 depending on what you guys or what school you choose. So that's going to be something that can save you money in the long run. If you're somebody who thinks that like maybe I don't want to go to college, I don't need those college credits, these are still things that are beneficial to you, even if you go into entry-level degrees or entry-level jobs that you're going to right after TCTC. So that's gonna be something Mrs. Billock will kind of discuss with you about when she goes over the next couple of slides about the career trees as well.
Thank you, Mr. Straight. You'll also see the next thing that you'll be developing and learning your skills will be like animal care and husbandry. And husbandry, what that is learning, so example, you're assigned the guinea pig. You're going to have a chart and you're going to have to measure like its weight, its food, what type of bedding, how to trim its nails, what its respiration is, any of the medical aspects of those animals that we have in our class. So if the pet store calls and says, we need an employee, I can send you there with the confidence to know if you're selling that guinea pig, you're knowledgeable in what needs to go along with it as you're selling it. You're also going to get fully basic grooming skills. We do average between 9 to about 12 dogs, 2 days a week. These are most of the dogs that are owned by the teachers in the school. You learn the great basics of it and a lot so that you can go out and look to see if this is one of the career aspects that you want to do. Even if you wanted to be a veterinarian, it's a great background to have that have those grooming skills. With that, we have that full business and customer service. You greeting those people, learning to talk to them, learning to talk on the phone. So if you wanted to become a veterinary receptionist, you're aware of how to answer the phone or how to talk to them or what to do if an emergency comes into that clinic. As a senior, you're going to do more of the veterinary science aspect of it. So that would be where you're learning internal parasites, external parasites. That's where you're learning diseases, how to do surgical, how to scrub, how to suture, x-rays, all of the veterinary science portion of it to get you ready if you want to do further your career in the animal science, health, and technology field. You will learn all about 132 different dog breeds, and there are more in the AKC dog breeds, but those are the ones that we focus on that you would be able to see at the clinics. To help to make it so that you become successful, We have several things that we look at doing. First is FFA. FFA is our youth organization. It is run by students. It helps to build leadership. You decide what to do. You meet with all your fellow students, your fundraisers. This helps to build leadership skills. So if you were to go on to be a veterinary technician, you would be able to put yourself into that field of who to work with and who not to work with. You become certified in OSHA. OSHA is one of the top rated safety aspects that you become certified with. If you were applying for a job and were OSHA certified and somebody else wasn't, you're more likely to get the job because of that certification. You become certified in American Heart Association, CPR, and first aid. And why that's so important is maybe you're working at a veterinary clinic and somebody gets lightheaded or faints or something happens. You're certified in that CPR or first aid, as well as PET. We're using another program called Health Center 21, which is a nationally recognized program that's both medical as well as veterinary, and it teaches you modules on important things like ethical things, what you can say, what you can't do, what are going on in our medical, and how to be safe. I'll be talking to you about the college credits also that Mr. Street discussed too as well. Now, this last category is telling you what you need to do to be prepared to come to TCTC. For my program, attendance is extremely important. It's across the board anymore, no matter what program you sign in. But with mine, you're responsible for an animal for the week. If you're not here, or you want to sleep in, or you just are not coming to school, that means that that animal has to be assigned to another student, that they have to take care of their assigned animal as well as yours. And maybe you've been watching something and it would be missed because you weren't here. We are an animal science program. You need to be strong in science. You need to be strong in math. If you're struggling in either one of those two programs, either one of those two academics, I would advise you to talk to someone at your home school to see if you can get some extra help in your science and math, if this is the program that you decide that you want to be in. And you'll need to talk to your home schools because you are not allowed more than 2 deficiencies to come to the program. I love this visual that's in our room. It is called a career tree. And you can see on the lower leaves of this tree, that is what you will have entry-level careers that you're able to go into once you graduate from my program. So example, a veterinary technician assistant, someone that helps the veterinary technician. You can be a groomer or a groomer assistant. You can work in a pet store. You can work at a kennel or help with adoptions, pet sit, dog walk. There's a lot of jobs or entry level that you can do from graduating with my program. Then you get into the next level, and the next level entails either more advanced education, such as an associate degree, apprenticeships, advanced certification. So that would be like if you wanted to be a full-time groomer, you would need to go and get more certification or work with more groomers. If you wanted to become that veterinary technician, you would have to go to get your associate degree, which would take you about 2 years. If you wanted to become like a park ranger or a fish and game wildlife person, that would take an associate degree. And that's kind of the middle of the tree, which is also a great place to be. And then you get to the top of the tree. And this is when you're looking at more schooling and more education in the animal science field. So it would be like your bachelor's degree, where you would have to go for 4 years to become like a biologist, or maybe you would want to become something that would be in that 4-year realm. If you're looking at veterinarian or doctor or any of those, that is about 10 years. So as you're looking at this tree, that gives you a good guesstimation of which level you want to try and achieve and how much you're going to have to do to make sure that you get on those levels. If you're looking at my program, I can toot the horns by the numbers. We have 100% retention rate. So that means as a junior, 100% of the class comes back as seniors. If you're looking at when they graduate from my program, we're at 100% continuing either their education or getting a job, and being a successful person out in the real world. Here are some testimonies from some of the former students. Kayla Eggleston, she got her bachelor, her 4-year degree as a zoology and psychology. She chose to do psychology because she did like studies on why birds react eating seed more than man-made pellets and things like that. She works at a research facility with animals right now, and they're doing a lot of work with COVID. Katie is one of my former students, the animal science student that is a registered veterinary technician, has been for 13 years, has done really well. She has all these other certifications like in dental, and she has them in x-ray and ultrasound, working with the animals. And she feels like by coming to the school, it gave her more confidence, and she knew what she wanted. Cheyenne and Sydney, they chose the grooming pathway and have done exceptionally well. They did exceptionally well in our competitions, as well as after they graduated from school. They spoke very highly and showed what happens and get them prepared for the adult world. And last but not least is Mrs. Karlavik. Mrs. Karlavik is our animal science, TCTC Ag and T&I supervisor. She brings her dog in to be groomed and spoke highly of how professional the dogs were. McGee is extremely important to her, part of her family, and she wanted to make sure that he was taken very well cared for, and she gave us a great testimony of how well the students did. Now, I feel that this is a very important slide, and the reason why is because if you sign up for this program, when Mr. Street addressed with you the articulation agreements and how much college and all cost, and you're looking at one credit being anywhere from $500 to $1,000. If you come here and you take this and pass the program, you get 2 credit hours that you're exempt from taking over here at Kent State Trumbull for the veterinary technician program. If you choose to go to Cleveland, to that Cuyahoga College, that's 1 credit hour that you're totally exempt from. Washington State, which is in the southern part of the state of Ohio, they give us 4 credit hours for ag business and ag education. So say you decided you wanted to be an animal science teacher, or you wanted to teach ag or any of those. They give us the credits that you're exempt from taking because you came to this program. And Eastern Gateway, I think, is extremely important, and with their 9 credit hours. Say you decided you wanted to become a groomer, and wanted to own your own business. That business part of the school that they have, it teaches you how to own your own business and write checks and how to pay your employees and your taxes. So all of these articulation agreements we have are amazing. And TCTC has great college credit classes in your math, in your English, as well as in your science. So you can get college credits in your academics too as well. These are some of the students that things that go on in our class with the animals and how we're taking care of them. I'm going to show you a video about what my students do on a daily basis. So I'll kind of let it go from here. This is one of our teacher's dogs. You have to learn to bag fish, because if you went to go work in a pet store, you have to learn to bag fish. That's King. King is eating spinach. He loves it. This is one of another teacher's dogs. We have our early childhood students that come into the school and tour. We learn how to give injections. He's injecting into an orange. They learned how to apply surgical gloves and surgical scrub. This was a flea we found on the dog and put it under the microscope. You can see the blood in it. That's a whipworm we found from one of the dogs in a fecal. An FFA, this is a leadership degree that you're going to be eligible for. This is showing all the students. We went on a field trip to the pilot dog in Columbus. It was neat because you got to wear the no sight glasses and know what it felt like. This is our competition. We've done TCTC Animal Science students have done remarkably well in competition. They are dressed for success. They did amazing and looked amazing. This is Justin. He placed first in the state in grooming. This is Sydney. She placed first in the state in vet science. This was my animal management team that placed first in the state. We went to nationals in West Springfield, Massachusetts. You have the eligibility of getting into National Technical Honor Society. We always bring kittens in that have been either dropped off at one of the clinics, or we work with Mr. Alvitro and the biotech program to learn about bacterial problems. It's a great thing with TCTC. You'll find all of the teachers work together very well. These are some more of our customers' dogs that come in. Our ferret. This is when we went to a dog show in Columbus. Again, them learning how to give injections properly.
Attention staff, I just want to say thank you very much for everything you do.
This is showing the school, what some of the students are doing. This is suturing a banana. This is working with the veterinary technician students from Kent. Some of the next slides you're going to see are things that you do in Mr. Street's class. She's suturing up one of the animals that we did. Whatever. You learn how to count pills, how to do prescriptions and things. This is in Mr. Street's class. They're learning how to use a microscope and the importance if you're doing urines or any of those things. They're dissecting right there a gummy bear. Again, these are some more of our animals. Again, you become certified in American Red Cross CPR. We dissected eggs and learned about poultry. These are your FFA officers. So that was just showing you a day in the life of what the animal science students normally see and go through. This is really important that you need to understand. You need to put your application in before January 15th. We fill up very fast. You can find your applications on the web page, on the TCTC home web page, or you can find them go through your homeschool. They'll have those too as well. I'm open to some questions, or if anyone has anything that they want to in the chat room, or ask any questions. I see, why would it benefit if I took this class to become a park ranger? Great question. We have a tremendous amount of also articulation agreements with Hawking College. Hawking is in Southern Ohio. They have an amazing program for wildlife management, park ranger, all of those. And it is a tremendous school. Within the next 5 years, they're predicting about a tremendous amount of people are going to be retiring in the park services. And so they're going to be looking for people in that capacity, and that park ranger, wildlife biologist in that. So that is a great question and a great profession, I feel. And my program will benefit you because you'll get used to seeing a lot of the animals and handling them that you will also be handling at Hawking too as well. And so Clayton, that was a great question. Do I have any other questions or concerns? I want to thank you all for coming. I know it's kind of getting late here. I really appreciate. I want you to see on this last slide here that I have your bit to say thank you. If you want to ask me a question, I am Kathy.Billock@TCTC Home. I'm really pretty quick to answer questions you might have. That way I can get I get a hold of you really relatively quickly. That's my email. It's kind of better than just necessarily the phone. I'm a little bit quicker with answering your questions.